Good afternoon, Facebook fans and YouTube. Not sure which I'm going to post this on first. Alright, now some joker put a battery on a floor to test whether concrete was going to wipe the battery out or not. I can't do that here. No concrete. Yeah, I do all my major cutting outside. Well, I've got a can to cut in for small stuff. Anyway, so when I went to testing the battery, I thought, well, I got a battery with a problem here. So I went to test voltage. Something unique came up. 12.4. Now, that is a snap-on or a Blue Point from Snap-on. 12.4 volts. Now here's something interesting. I don't know what the amp reading of that battery is, but I do know something of this size. 200 amp is minimum, but quite often most people have 300 or near 280 to 350, anywhere there, 340. Whatever's available. So I just left it set at 300. That's what this tests most lawn and garden batteries at. Now I go through the test. First it says fail. Isn't that interesting? Let's try something else now. Oops, let's get away from the glare. 12.38. It just dropped. You know what this said before? 12.41. Well, after two tests, what did this read? We just saw, oh, wait a minute, it said 12.4. 12.39. Yeah, if you wiggle things around, you'll change connections. But look at that, 12.39, 12.38. So they're pretty close. They're within a hundredth of a volt. So let's just call this meter good. Well, it's Mac. Of course it's good. But I just wanted people to see, because you always get some dillweed on there that gripes about something stupid. Now, that's step one. It told you it failed already. Well, you don't know anything about it. But the kid before said 12.3, 12.4. He said, there, the battery is fine. Well, no, it isn't, dillweed. You test the amps. Now, this isn't a direct amp test, but this does do a surge test of the... Whoa, wait a minute. 125? Oh, you notice it's flashing? Yes. You see, with this meter, 125 is the minimum. If it's below 125, it flashes. Well, I've got a 24 horse V twin Briggs & Stratton. You think that's going to fire in less than 125 cranking amps? No, it's not. And that's what I had the thing set at. Now, you can do a cold test. Let's try that. That assimilates the cold. We're not in a cold environment right now. It says it failed. What's the cold test say? Oh, look, 12.38. 125 blinky. Let's do it again. 300. Test again. 12.3839. Test again. Definitely on the cold button. Keep my fingers off the other test button. 125 blinky. So you see there, as the battery goes down, it loses its capacity. What this thing does is do massive, like infinitesimally small time-wise, but massive surges through the wires. That way you don't need heavy wires, you don't need to pull 150 amps, because this thing will see how reactive the battery is internally. Because it doesn't have any power of its own, it's using the battery itself. Both sides of these clamps have to be connected well too. So anytime you put them on there, you know where those ears are. Make sure you're on that lead of the ear. Now you can test it through the bolt. Test it, that's one of the things I've done before, is that you can test on the stud to know where you're at. Then you can test on the wire to see how good your connection is. Just recognize that it's going to drop. Well, there we go, see? Operates on battery power only. So I wanted to show you that I come up with similar numbers to what the kid did when he said, oh, the battery's fine. It was on a concrete floor. It didn't make any difference. I'm not talking about the concrete floor. I'm talking about the jackass test. It's a bogus test what he did. You don't use a voltmeter. You use a load meter. And this one isn't the heavy-duty load meter. I have one of those hanging around here someplace too. It'll draw about 150 amps for 10 seconds. And then you see what the voltage recovers to. Now, if you just got through charging that battery with a battery charger, You're going to have a surface charge. What does that mean? It means that there's a lot of chemicals in there moving around before the battery cools down. The surface charge is it's maxed. I mean, it's right there. But it's not at its functional service level. So what do? You put a load meter on there, or just turn some lights on and let it run for a while. Anything 12 volt that you can run, fans and motors of some sort, just get it down. Don't be a jerk and put a wrench across there and blow the place up. If you can, run the starter for a few seconds, like 4 or 5 seconds. That only draws about 50 amps. Yeah, really, it does. It'll start at 50 or 60 amps in the starter, as you can see the nose of back there, and it'll actually cut down to only about 30 amps. Seriously. So you see the little wires there? They're 10s, I think, 10s or 12s, and there's more than enough. But you don't have enough battery to make it happen. So a battery like that has to maintain 11 plus volts. 12 is better to be able to shove the amps through those little wires to spin that little motor, to spin this bigger engine. So there you go. The voltmeter is not sufficient. You need something to test the load. Oh, my other tester, I have one that's solar. Only cost me about 70 bucks. Yeah, and actually has a broader range than this old thing. This I bought because my first one went bad. Who made this? I can't remember the name of the company. Back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s up to about 2010. Mac bought all their stuff from that company. I can't remember the name. And they built some good junk. And this was one of them. They hold up very well. The first one I'd had for years, and then I wrecked it banging around in a service truck. This one's been there too, and it's still good shape. So, get to the other one's a solar. This cost me over $200 the second time. About $150 the first time, to give you an idea how old that one was. So, you get you one of these, or you go to Napa store or online to Amazon, get a solar tester. That'll handle up to 1,000 amps. And you'll be able to test your batteries well. You don't need 1,000 amps for most testing. Automotive, 800 amps is more than enough because you're looking at surges and stuff. And occasionally you get into your diesel trucks, yeah, you want something that'll test over 1,000 amps. But this one handles just about everything you'll ever need. And check your voltage for you too after you've tested the load. But look at it. At 12.38, right? After testing that it was poor. Well, that's because the plates are sulfated in the battery. Voltage showed up good, not the amps.